Every year, thousands of patients are suffering from vision-related issues in India. Poverty, lack of good eye care facilities in rural areas, and also lack of timely medical help are the main causes of many poor people to lose their eyesight permanently. Year after year, Sankara Nethralaya is standing by those patients and helping them by providing free eye clinics, surgeries and accommodations during the surgery. Founder of Sankara Nethralaya, Padma Bhushan, Dr. S.S. Badrinath, recently received the prestigious NDTV Global Legend Award from the President of India. Sankara Nethralaya Om Trust, a charity organization you can trust. Every year, Sankara Nethralaya USA has been receiving the highest rank 4-star from Charity Navigator for their outstanding community service. We welcome you all to take part in our charity events and contribute towards the noble cause. Many compassionate and kind individuals contribute their time, effort and wealth towards Sankara Nethralaya's charitable events. Few prominent brand ambassadors include former President Bharata Ratna Dr. Abdul Kalam.
His Excellency to present it to Dr. Badrinath.
So my greetings to Sankara Nethralaya for the excellent service what you are doing. So for the contribution for you, the God will help you. That is Varnamum Vayagamum Validrandividam.
Padma Vibhushan Sri Nani Falkewala has donated most of his wealth to this wonderful organization, commending their exemplary service. Industrialist, philanthropist Padma Vibhushan Ratan Tata made significant contributions towards these programs. India's pride, Padma Vibhushan Sri Amitabh Bachchan's passionate appeal on behalf of Sankara Nethralaya.
Sankara Nethralaya is the best managed charitable hospital in India. In the 1990s, Palkiwala gave away a very large portion of his personal wealth to Sankara Nethralaya to buttress the good work that the institution was doing, built on the pioneering vision for providing quality medical services at very affordable costs to all. Let us bring light into the life of our less privileged citizens.
Indian film industry celebrity Padma Vibhushan Sri Rajinikanth explains the importance of Netradanam.
இந்த அழகான குழந்தையோட பரிதாபமான வேண்டுகோளை நிறைவேற்றுறது நம்ம கடமை இல்லையா? கண்தானம் செய்யுங்க. தானத்திலேயே சிறந்தது கண்தானம். கண்தானம் குறித்து தொடர்பு கொள்ள வேண்டிய தொலைபேசி எண்கள் சென்னையில் சங்கர நேத்ராலயா கண் மருத்துவமனை.
President of BCCI Padma Sri Saura Ganguly talks about making a life by what we give.
Ladies and gentlemen, who I am privileged to be addressing now, to you I say and humbly, the task ahead for Sankara Nethralaya in Rajarhat, Kolkata is truly monumental. Yet another Nethralaya Center of Excellence, dedicated ultimately, as always, to the underprivileged. The moment for you is now to reach out, to share, to give, so that somewhere on some fallen eye, you may hope that a tear well, not a tear of despair, but that of relief and joy. Do remember, we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give.
DRDO R&D Chairman Dr. G. Satish Reddy on technological advancements with Sankara Nethralaya.
కలాం గారు ముఖ్యంగా శంకర నేత్రాలయ వారితో అప్పటికే ఆయన ఉన్నప్పుడు వారి సంబంధాలు కలవటం మాట్లాడటం అన్ని కూడా చేయాలి. శంకర నేత్రాలయతో డిఆర్డిఓ మేము కలిసి ఏ రకమైనటువంటి కొత్త పరికరాలు సామాన్య మానవుడికి అతి తక్కువ ధరలో అందేందుకోసం ఏమి చేద్దాం, ఇవి ఏ ప్రణాళికలు మొదటి తీసుకునండి. నేను ముఖ్యంగా ఒక సైంటిఫిక్ టీమ్ ఏర్పాటు చేసి మీతో కలిసి పనిచేసి అవి త్వరగా మనం బయటకు తీసుకుని వచ్చేందుకు ఏ రకంగా మనం చాలా ఫాస్ట్ గా బయటకు తీసుకుని వద్దాం, ఈ విషయం గురించి మాత్రమే వారు మాట్లాడుతారు. ఖచ్చితంగా చెప్పారు.
Indian film industry celebrity actor Madhavan underlines the difference between perception and reality.
This is a sari. Okay, but what color is it?
Color? Color?
Perception is far from reality. Give them vision. Contribute generously. Sankara Nethralaya. Make this fundraiser by Sankara Nethralaya a grand success.
Mobile Eye Surgical Unit, MESU, the hospital on wheels, is going to remote villages of rural India and performing thousands of eye surgeries to save eyesight of thousands of poor patients. This effective program is becoming very popular. For $12,500 of donation, you can request a MESU to be sent to a village of your choice and save eyesight of many patients in and around that village. This year, many donors have pledged to take part in this project. Life is difficult without vision. Let us all help our fellow human beings who are in need. It is a humongous task that Sankara Nethralaya has taken. Let us be part of this great effort by donating generously. Sarvendriyanam Nayanam Pradanam. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu.
Besides from Sankara Nethralaya Trust, are you both involved in any other non-profit organizations or charities?
I also served as trustee of local premier Hindu temple, Sri Shiva Vishnu Temple in Metro, Washington for 3 years.
So how do you think Sankara Nethralaya USA is different from those other non-profit organizations?
What we do, Sankara Nethralaya USA, primary objective is raise as much money as possible.
What would you say gives you the utmost satisfaction in this journey throughout your life?
Every time when they say notification, so much of satisfaction to me. $200 comes. Okay, 3 more people got cataract. 4 people who otherwise can't afford. That's the biggest happiness for me.
Hi everyone, my name is Reshmi and you're watching TVASIATELUGU. Today, I'm excited to be talking with the founder of Sankara Nethralaya Mission Trust. Sri Acharya sir has founded Sankara Nethralaya Mission Trust in 1988, an organization whose mission is to spread the philosophy, objective, and awareness on the work being done by Sankara Nethralaya in the USA. He has spearheaded his passionate mission with amazing zeal, set a great personal example and continues to lead him from the front by constantly exploring ways and means to reach out to the Indian community in the USA. He has set a great personal example and has also identified like-minded people to join the trust. In 2016, the trust transferred funds to support 7,108 cataract surgeries, 1,589 major surgeries, 64 rural school screening camps, and 126 eye camps by Nethralaya for benefiting impoverished patients in remote parts of India. In 2020, Sankara Nethralaya performed 21,017 free surgeries, out of which 7,000 minor surgeries and 1,500 major surgeries were supported by Sankara Nethralaya. Let's please welcome Acharya sir and Nirmala ma'am to our show today.
Thank you very much. We're pleased to be here.
Before we start, I would just like to say both of you are a true inspiration to the younger generation. I'm extremely honored to be having this conversation with you today. You started Sankara Nethralaya USA in 1988. But before we get into the trust itself, let's talk a little bit about your childhood. What was your childhood like? Is there a person in your childhood that serves as an inspiration to you for everything that you do today?
First of all, thanks to Reshmi, Swatiji, Srinivas Ganagoni, TV Asia, and our President Bala Indurti for giving me an opportunity to speak something about myself and Sankara Nethralaya Home Trust. We wanted to something about my childhood and education, all that. I come from a small village in Udupi district in India, in Karnataka. And poverty was one of the things we constantly had at that time. My father was a highly orthodox religious person. Mother was a very pious doing lady. My initial education was in the local area. After my 8th grade, because there were too many kids in the house, my father had to make a choice what to do next. Then he sent me to what they call as a mata or a monastery, where I could go to high school. Then at the same time, I had to attend to Vedantic scriptures classes in the evening. I finished that, then I finished my high school. Then there was a turning point in my life. My father, being a very orthodox person, he wanted me to go for Vidyapita, meaning learn Vedantic education, become a Vedantic scholar. It was a great idea, but at that point in time, about 50, 60 years ago, those people didn't make much money. They're highly respected. That's not enough income. So I was very much against it. My father was very disappointed with me. He somehow let me go for my high school. I finished my BCom. That was another turning point in my life. I wanted to take up a job, but my brothers wanted me to pursue CA because of good credentials I had. I pursued that. Then I finished my CA and certainly had a great scope after that point in time. You asked about the inspirational part of the thing. My higher elementary school headmaster, T.K. Srinivasrao, one of the greatest examples. He was paid very little money, but he really dedicated his life for the students. Spent so many hours. His whole objective was that they should learn something from the system, not learn like what you see today. He was really committed. He was one of the examples. Another example was my own uncle, who was Home Minister of Karnataka State, Dr. V.S. Acharya. He was in the politics, but he was highly dedicated person, very, very clean person. These are the two people, very, very exemplary people in my life.
What about you, ma'am? What was your childhood like? Was there an inspiration in your childhood that drives you today?
Childhood is very opposite from my husband's. I came from a middle-class family and had no care in the world, well taken care of. But throughout my life, my father and mother was my inspiration. My father was responsible for many, many people getting education because he never ever had, he would say, stepped into a school even when it starts to rain. But he valued education so much. So he gave education to a lot of people. He uplifted many, many families. So I think growing up, that was part and parcel of our upbringing. So somewhere along the line, doing things for others became very common in our life too. So I would put mostly on my parents for all the inspiration they gave me.
So what is your professional life like right now?
My professional life, well, as I finished my Chartered Accountants course in India in 1967, my first job was with the LIC of India at Bombay Central Office. That time, they used to get highly qualified CAs and recruit them in their locations, and eventually they'll become the executives of the corporation. Everything was good except that there was not enough of challenge for me. As a young professional, I wanted to see a lot more than what they could offer me. So I changed my job after 2 years, went to Associated Cement Company, so one big cement manufacturing company in India. I went there in Shahabad, India, and it was good. Everything was fine, except that the income I was getting was not quite good enough for supporting my family and others. So I had to find the means. So right after my marriage, I migrated to States in 1972. Then my first job was as assistant controller for City Colleges of Chicago. It's a community college system for Metro Chicago. And that time I finished my CPA, and I went to my boss and told him, look, sir, I've been here for 3-4 years, finished my CPA. I want something more appealing position here. Then he said, look, sorry, your next position is my position. I don't plan to retire or leave. So there's not enough opportunity here. And I started looking around. Then I found a position in Fairbanks, Alaska. I did not quite know very much about the whole background, but I was offered twice the salary. We all went there, but there I'm a city person. That's pretty much a place ideal for nature-loving people, hunting, fishing, mountain climbing. And in December, there was 21 hours of darkness, and June, 21 hours of daylight time. So this was not quite the place I wanted to be. Then the position was good, everything was fine, but I changed after 3 years, came down to Houston, therefore briefly, then I came to Washington here in 1983. Since then, I'm here. My first position here was as a controller for an international bank for about 15 years. I worked as fiscal administrator for state of Maryland. Then I joined Peace Corps as director of accounting operations. Then joined as budgetary director for U.S. federal agency. As I retired in 2016. This is briefly my professional life. It was quite an experiencing and challenging position. Nirmala, you want to say?
My parents had 8 girls and 1 son. So my parents' objective was to just get us married in those days as soon as possible. So I just had 1 year of college education and married off. So right away, the family obligation started. But I did pursue in computers and did some training to start working in this country. But, when we were raised, our intention was all to take care of family. So basically, my life shifted to taking care of my children and, working part-time and things like that. So I kind of progressed in that way. So basically, a housewife.
You seem to have moved around a lot. Various experiences, a lot of experiences, I'm guessing.
Well, what happened is, as a first-generation person, I had to take up more challenges than the locally born people. So I had to look around and get qualification, find position, and because you won't get enough opportunity in the same organization, you have to keep changing jobs. So that way I kept going, making different changes. That's been a little bit rough on my wife and children. They had to come along with me. And also my wife could not take a serious professional job because she had to take full responsibility for taking care of the kids. Because she knew that I cannot come out of my office and say, sorry, my kid is sick in the school or daycare. I cannot leave and come. So she had to take less demanding positions, which has done very well for the family.
So besides from Sankara Nethralaya Trust, are you both involved in any other nonprofit organizations or charities?
Migrated here in Chicago, I took the position as treasurer for Kannada association called Kaveri. Then again, when I got back to Houston, there's a Kannada association called Brunda. I was the treasurer there. Then I moved to Washington. Also here it's called Kaveri here. I was treasurer for this organization. I was also the auditor there. Then I served as editorial advisor for CPA Journal of Accountancy for 6 years. Me and my wife and our friends locally arranged a conference for a 3-day conference. People coming from my district in India, about 250 people attended in the 3-day event. It happened in 2004. I also served as trustee of local premier Hindu temple Sri Shiva Vishnu Temple in Metro, Washington for 3 years. Then, of course, I'm involved in the trust since 1988.
For me, basically, we were very involved with the local Kannadiga organization. I served as a treasurer for a few years, then volunteered at the temple. And then, like you said, 1980, we started this. And so we got involved at that time. It was a one-man show where he represented Sankara Nethralaya and the kids, and we all together involved in mailing for fundraising events. And so we were very heavily involved with this organization from 1980. So we keep ourselves occupied in various organizations whenever opportunities arise.
Very good to see that it's not just Sankara Nethralaya and you guys are very open with your community and helping in your community. But coming to Sankara Nethralaya, could you please elaborate on its mission a little more and, what services you guys provide to the public?
Sankara Nethralaya is an organization in India which has several hospitals in Chennai. They are in West Bengal. Also, they are present in Andhra Pradesh. This organization was started by one Dr. S.F. Badrinath. He got his MD in ophthalmology with the specialization in retina. And he, when he was 36, he went back to India to serve mother country. And one of the lectures he attended by Shankaracharya of Kaji Kamakoti, the Swamiji said, whatever you do with the missionary spirit, sense of service to the public. That message appealed to him so much. He thought of starting an organization with this spirit. So basically, he started this Sankara Nethralaya in 1978. The whole purpose is provide free service to the poor and at affordable price to others. But both get the same quality of service. That's the primary focus of the organization. Second, they also wanted to provide ophthalmic education, undergraduate, graduate, postgraduate, fellowship, all this, provide this education thing. Now, 1 in 12 ophthalmic professionals serving in India are trained in Sankara Nethralaya. Third element they do is provide India-centric research on ophthalmology, what they do. In addition, they also do school screenings, go to schools and screen the kids so that early on they find out what are the ophthalmic problems. They can be corrected easily. They help them in education. Then eye bank they have. They have what's called mobile eye surgical unit, operation theater on wheels. There are 2 units. One serves as the operation theater, other as the preparatory unit. They go out to a village. Before that, they do all the groundwork about the patients. Then once they go there, they treat about 150 to 200 patients. They stay there for 12 days. After their post-operative treatment, they come back to the main campus. Likewise, they do about 15 to 20 camps in villages. Those villages will not be able to come to the main place, and even a simple cataract, they won't be able to get it done. There are 2 such units, one in Jharkhand, North India, one in Chennai. They go to up to 500 kilometers distance from that location. This is one of the first of its kind in Asia. Government India has given permission because it has to be in the most hygienic conditions. This is the mobile surgical unit. On a daily basis, they treat about 2,500 outpatients, perform 250 surgeries, almost half of them free on poor people. Last year, they saw 800 outpatients and performed 60,000 surgeries. Because of all this, our founder, Dr. S.S. Badrinath, was awarded Living Legend title as well as Padma Bhushan by President of India. And also, Sankara Nethralaya was named as one of the best hospitals, about the best 100 hospitals in the world, and one of the only ophthalmic hospital from India. So they are not the biggest hospital system in the country, but they're the most professional, highly qualified institution in India.
So we talked about other nonprofit organizations and how you guys help with other nonprofit organizations. So how do you think Sankara Nethralaya USA is different from those other nonprofit organizations?
What we do, Sankara Nethralaya USA, primary objective is raise as much money as possible, spend as little as possible, and send all the rest of the money back to India for treating poor patients. That's the whole objective of the institution. And every year we raise about more than $1 million. It was less in the beginning, but now of late we are raising about $1 million or more and sent to India. And our expense has been about 1% overhead expenses. So basically almost all the money we collect are going back. We have now 35 trustees across the country, 14 chapters. And recently, 2019, Bala Reddy Indurti became the president. Very, very young person, and also young team is there. I'm kind of an ancient person now. I started in 1988, but I'm very much there, providing as some kind of advisory role. My title is President Emeritus. That's what I'm doing. And the whole objective of Sankara Nethralaya Home Trust is to raise as much money and send as much funds as possible in India to treat poor patients. That's the whole objective.
So in the previous question, we talked about the living legend, Dr. S.S. Badrinath. It's a name known around the world now. He found Sankara Nethralaya in India. And I know that you've personally probably met him. So what was your experience with him? How is he in real life?
Okay, it is very fascinating about him. He's highly passionate about service. Okay, he's the one who developed the missionary spirit in the organization. Sankara Nethralaya is not like other institutions. People are highly dedicated and they do work long hours and they're committed. It's not just a job for them. That's why this has come from Dr. Badrinath. And that's what impressed me. That's why I'm still here as after 33 years as a volunteer, trustee, whatever it may be. I'm still here. He was a visionary. He's the one who thought we need to provide free service, affordable price to other people, research, MESU, all these things, all his creation. Okay. And also, whenever he visited here, he was not fascinated by sightseeing here. He wanted to meet scientists, visit hospitals, and meet donors. His whole focus is only on this. That's what really impressed me, that this man is totally dedicated his life for this purpose. That's why a lot of young people are joining the organization to serve as trustees, as volunteers, as donors.
మలబార్ గోల్డ్ అండ్ డైమండ్స్ వారి గోల్డ్ ప్రామిస్ తో మరింత షైన్ అవ్వండి. మీరు చేసే గోల్డ్ మరియు డైమండ్స్ కొనుగోలుపై బంగారు నాణేలను ఖచ్చితంగా పొందండి. చక్కటి ధరలతో ఆకర్షించే ప్రత్యేకమైన జ్యువెలరీ కలెక్షన్ ను చూడండి. బంగారు నాణేలను ఖచ్చితంగా పొందండి. ఓక్ ట్రీ రోడ్, న్యూ జెర్సీ లేక వెస్ట్ డెవన్ అవెన్యూ, షికాగోలో మలబార్ గోల్డ్ అండ్ డైమండ్స్ ను విజిట్ చేయండి. మలబార్ గోల్డ్ అండ్ డైమండ్స్, సెలబ్రేట్ ద బ్యూటీ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్.
Don't spend more money in selling your home. Instead, make more. For all your real estate needs, trust only Lovi. Lovi Realty Group makes it easy to sell your home. The Lovi Sale by Owner offers the same services as a realtor does for a fraction of the price. For only $990, we list your home, handle digital marketing, take calls, and schedule home showings for you. Planning to buy a house? Lovi has the best tools and agents to make your journey happy. We offer home buyers rebate of 1% or more cash back towards the closing. Visit our website to learn more about our programs, www.lovihomes.com. For more details, please contact 908-304-9621 or 908-337-1289.
Getting into Ivy League is not just a dream anymore. Graduate from the top universities of the US. Start your SAT or ACT prep now with Turito. Turito offers you live classes with expert tutors, credential building activities, guidance with college applications, curated study material, progress tracking app, and assessments based on AI and ML. Experience our course through a demo today. Enroll now. Turito.
So, Nirmala ma'am, what is your role in Sankara Nethralaya USA exactly?
In the beginning, when this was basically started by my husband, he set up the trust 501c. Mostly, we both had to do all the groundwork and contacting donors and mailing. So we did a lot of fundraising events where we had to go and set up the stage and all that. So a lot of initial work, I was very much involved, and calling donors and talking about the organization whenever he's at work. Our homes will get flooded with phone calls throughout the day, to find out. So basically answering calls. And then you asked what impressed us about Dr. Badri. The many, many times he came to visit us, for me, it felt like he was just an elderly, my brother or sister coming to visit us. They were that simple in their daily activities. I even have pictures of him playing with my son, the Jenga game, and just simple things, So usually you have an image of a person like that, like they're haughty or they're very hard to reach to. But his compassion is what totally touched me, and his understanding of other people. I was very upset when we did a fundraising in the beginning. We had like 40 people, but the money that we raised was not as much. And I complained that, why do people come, and we never got any donations? And his object was, you got so many people to know about this organization, and that's what it is all about. Down the road, they will donate. Don't worry about it now. So to me, that was a big eye-opener, that you don't have to get donations right away. So they do a lot of free fundraising events, like a lot of big artists come. The goal is not just to charge all the time. People come, have a good time. And down the road, people remember when they're writing a will or their children's birthday or special occasions, they do collect funds and send it to us. So the simplicity and the magnanimous attitude of Dr. Badrinath and Dr. Vasanthi really touched us a lot, because I think that's what keeps us going even today.
So all of this seems like a lot of work and a lot of effort that you have to put in constantly. It's not like a one-day thing once the event is over. It doesn't sound like that. So what drives you guys? What was the inspiration for you guys to start Sankara Nethralaya USA, the trust fund? I mean, what still drives you to this day?
It's kind of a rare coincidence. What happened is my father had an eye infection. This was in 1987. My father was 77-year-old and wanted to arrange for treatment right in Udupi, where I come from, but somehow it could not be done. Then I was about to go to my in-laws' place in Chennai. I requested my father to come over there. He came there. Then the next question was, where do I take him to? Our stay is limited. Then somebody suggested there are two good places here. One is Sankara Nethralaya, it's a non-profit organization. And the second one is Agarwal Eye Hospital. Then someone managed to get an appointment at Sankara Nethralaya, took my father over there. Dr. Badrinath treated him with the infection. It was all taken care of. During the examination time, he asked me, what do I do, where do I come from, and all that. I said, I'm from US and I'm a CPA and all this stuff. Then he said, can you help me in this? I have a lot of good friends there. Can you help them to establish an organization? I said, sure, okay, it's some good message coming from a great person. I said, let's do it. Then obviously I contacted these people. Someone, I think, took off for several months. The next visit, Dr. Badri and his wife, Dr. Vasanti, came to my office in DC and said, can you take this upon yourself and start the organization? I did not know what I was doing, but anyway, thought it's a divine message to me. So I started the organization, got registered in the state of Maryland, and got IRS exemption. It came into being. Our first president was UN Undersecretary C.V. Narasimhan, and it was a small organization at that time. After 33 years now, I feel really fortunate that I got involved in this organization.
Also, if I can interject, nothing in our life we really plan out, things happen. We are very blessed to have this organization, something that we can give our time to and help poor people in India. But having done this so many years now, I feel it's such a blessing because he's retired. And, for most men, once they retire, they have to have something to cling on to because, there's no office to go and no people to talk. And I see a lot of people have difficulty coping. But I'm happy my husband still is having this organization that keeps him going. So there are a lot of trustees, a lot of fundraising discussions, meetings. So I sometimes tell him it doesn't look like he's 78 years old. He's just still going on and on. So I think this organization keeps him going, keeps him young because he's still involved in it.
Mm-hmm. So now, especially nowadays, there's a lot of nonprofit organizations that are being created that are already there that are also seeking for donations. So what plans do you have if for the future to continue the flow of donations that you guys have already?
I think one thing the donors really want to see is that their funds are genuinely used. So there's some organization US, their overhead is 30%, 40%. So donors, people are willing to donate money for a good cause. There's no shortage of donors, but they want to be convinced there's a good cause. We have some brand ambassadors like Nani Palkiwala gave almost all his estate to Sankara Nethralaya. Amitabh Bachchan is one of our spokesperson, and Rajnikant, Madhavan, and also some big celebrities have performed for us. Bharat Ratna, M.S. Subbulakshmi, and Sudha Raghunathan, Rona Majumdar, Punya Krishnan, list goes on and on. So basically, people want to know it's a genuine cause. And most of the people who donated once, first time donation may come late, but once they're donated, made a donation here, and convinced with the genuineness of the organization, they become lifetime donors. Every year in December, we get number of checks and donations. They have designated X amount of money for Sankara Nethralaya Home Trust here. I know it's coming. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is that donors want to give for a worthy cause. That's what the trust or the organization has to seek, maintain. And Sankara Nethralaya is doing a great job of that.
I agree. You guys, your trust has received the highest rating of 4 stars from Charity Navigator for financial accountability and fiscal transparency. So how do you feel about such an honor?
I'm very happy that we received that recognition here. And also, Sankara Nethralaya got named as one of the best hospitals by Newsweek magazine. Here it is, it's not that what they do, there are several criteria by which they decide to give the 4-star ranking. Not every organization gets it. They want to know how much the revenue, how much the overhead expenses, are you compliant with the various policies, and are you compensating your directors or the president so much money or whatever. The number of factors go into that. And that way, I think we are a very, very clean operation and want to keep it very simple. Just raise money and send money back home to India to treat our brothers and sisters who are less fortunate than we are. That's all we are doing. And obviously, I'm very happy that we have gotten the.
So my greetings to Sankara Nethralaya for the excellent service what you are doing. So for the contribution for you, the God will help you. That is Vanamum Vayagamum Validrandividam.
Under your leadership, Acharya sir, could you elaborate on Sankara Nethralaya USA's activities, especially during this pandemic situation that doesn't, you don't get an opportunity to bring people together anymore. It's all social media.
Started out as a small entity in 1988 when I did not know where we were heading. But what happened that time, a lot of people migrated from India. So they knew about Sankara Nethralaya and its genuine activities. So it was not, already we had a lot of people aware of the organization. Also here we run ads in the India Abroad or other magazines, emailing and telling all our friends, word of mouth, trustees, volunteers, everybody has been talking to other people. So it was the effort, but for a period of time, it kind of continued, our effort continued, and we have been able to raise a good amount of money. And we also, as I said, we have some of these brand ambassadors. Abdul Kalam, president, is one of our supporters, and Ratan Tata, who was also given Shankar Ratna title for his major contribution for the organization. And we have a number of donation schemes. For simple $65, we perform one cataract surgery. For $250, major surgery. And we also call what we call is perpetual cataract surgery. For 12 years, they do it. Somebody donates $700, we do for cataract surgery on one poor patient for 12 years and send a picture of the patient to the donor. Same thing, for $2,200, we perform 12 years of major surgery on a patient and send a picture to all the people. We have similarly a number of other donation plans. People can go to our website and check on that and support us. And every year we are raising and sending about more than $1 million to the organization. The pandemic last year has been a little bit tough. Every year we have been holding between 8 to 15 fundraising events in different major cities like Washington, Houston, San Francisco, New York, number of cities we have been holding. But we could not do that last year. We originally planned about 6 events, but sometime in February, we had to cancel the whole thing. Instead, we had virtual events. We had 3 major events. One was by child prodigy Rahul Velal. It was a good event. Then Padma Shri A. Kanyakumari. Then Dr. Shobha Raju, we had one event. And also mid-year campaign, year-end campaign we had. So we did other events, but we could not do as much as we would have liked to do last year. This year, again, we are almost in the middle of the year. We have no indication how we are going to proceed further. Hopefully, later in the year, we may be able to get back to live concerts. Then we have a lot more fundraising going on.
So both of you are touching a lot of lives all over the world. What would you say gives you the utmost satisfaction in this journey throughout your life?
As I told you, this journey was not a planned journey. It happened that way. I met Dr. Badri and he requested us and we started the organization. It may come up to this stage now. So every time there's a donation received, in the form of a check or a credit card, whatever, I get a notification. Every time when they say notification, so much of satisfaction to me. $200 comes. Okay, 3 more people got cataract. The poor people who otherwise can't afford. That's the biggest happiness for me. And when I go to visit India, I always go to Nethralaya and see that the number of patients there, they are brought by Nethralaya bus from their villages, brought it to main campus. They are put up there, they're fed, and they are treated, and they're dropped back in their village. This is utmost satisfaction to me. We are also part of this operation now. They are all doing the work. We, along with our donors and trustees, we are raising some money and helping their cause. There is a lot of satisfaction. And also, I get a number of times I get certain emails saying, I have a friend who is not well to do, can I arrange a treatment for him at Nethralaya? We refer that, and that happens. Then ultimately in life, what you give is what you get. So I think we have the chance. Somehow Dr. Badri gave us an opportunity, a divine opportunity to do something, and we are happy we had this occasion and we are able to do something for the community.
What about you, ma'am? What gives you the most utmost satisfaction?
Satisfaction is to be that we had the blessing to be associated with Dr. Badri and his wife, Dr. Vasanti, and learning from their humility and their dedication. Nothing we did looked like we are doing too much, because we see them in their role, doing so much for the cause. And seeing all their doctors, well educated, and the dedication they had every time we visited, we saw them, different specialty. And the doctors, they're not like paid the highest salary, but they were all sent to this different parts of the world to get training from NIH and different areas. And that training and that expertise was used in India and given to the poorest person too. It didn't matter whether you're rich or poor, the same quality service. To be part of that, and unknowingly, we are all told that you have to earn karma points, right? So unknowingly, I hope our points we are not doing that much, but I hope we're slowly reaching there, doing whatever. So the phone, just sometimes it's a botheration when a phone call comes in the middle of your dinner or some movie or something, and then he's disappeared for like 20 minutes, so, and then I have to gently remind myself, maybe the other person has some issues regarding eyes or whatever. So it's not a big deal to share your time with others, So sometimes we do have the hesitation to pick up a call, but it's always been a good feeling to see that our lives are being used in different ways. Nothing we planned. To have that blessing, we are very appreciative.
So the impact that both of you are making is amazing and is truly an inspiration to the youth, I would say. What's your message to the next generation who wants to give back to the society? What advice would you give to people like me that are looking to step into maybe your field?
Okay. First of all, we are trying to attract younger generation to the organization. And now most of our trustees are in the age bracket of 40 to 60, 55, 60 or so. And I'm the only one from the first board of trustees of 1988 in the board now. Want to attract younger people, volunteers come here. And at University of Maryland, every year we sponsor an intercollegiate competition. That we show video, also speak at that time, so give exposure to people. And one young boy named Jay Kannan, he's about 15-year-old. He saw a video somewhere, so impressed with the organization that he arranged a concert in his house, I think for the 4th or 5th time this year, raised some few thousands of dollars. So this is the impact they're having. We want to attract more people. About my message to young people is just this, namely, in my opinion, there are 3 important resources every human being has. One is health, wealth, and of course time. These are the three major elements of things. These are three resources used for three major purposes in life. For one's own well-being, well-being of your kids and kins and friends, and community at large. The most important thing, in my opinion, is that you should devote part of your wealth and time for the well-being of community at large. That's extremely important. Like, I have been fortunate to know this organization. It's a great organization. So there's thousands of causes all over the world. My only appeal to young generation is please involve in some cause and spend part of your wealth and time. If not wealth, at least time. Time is, there's plenty of time for the welfare of the community. Do something good for the community. That's all I can tell.
What about you, ma'am? Would you have anything to say to the female generation?
I will basically second what my husband said. A lot of time people, one excuse they'll say is, I'm very busy. My father always says, if you want something to be done, give it to the busiest person. He will do it. It's other people will explain to you for 20 to 30 minutes how busy they are. Explanation time goes. I always tell people, like my husband suggests, it doesn't have to be a major cost. You can even tutor a child. You can see a child who's in your class who's not doing that well. Be a friend. Little things. My advice to my son was always, if you see a child sitting separately and lonely, go sit with him. He must be having a bad day or he must be going through something. So to the point, once I could not locate my son and I found him near a homeless person talking to him because it's very cold, to go to the authorities so he can get into a shelter. I honestly believe every parent should spend time with their children, to ask them to give their time and services to the underprivileged. We are so busy getting our kids doing violin and this thing and that thing, and so many activities. They can stay active in some of these voluntary activities too. We have a family friend whose son, even though he's in college and all that, what's his name, Krishna Raj's son? Pranav. He dedicated time sitting in the front desk, collecting funds. It's just that exposure they do give it to the organization, and that stays with the child and wanting to do. So we have to get these children young to remember that there's more than you, and sometimes some children say they have depression and they have loneliness. Giving your time to others and sharing your time, it really helps you inwardly, So I only think more young parents should dedicate their children to these causes, and it would be a good world for everybody.
This conversation has been truly informative as well as very inspirational. It's been such an honor talking to both of you about how you guys grew up and everything that you do for Sankara Nethralaya in Chennai. Thank you so much for joining us, Acharya sir and Nirmala.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity.
Lastly, let me thank you, Reshmi, Swati ji, Chignas Ganagoni, our President Bala Indurti and TV Asia for giving us an opportunity to speak about ourselves, our experiences, and Sankara Nethralaya. And last but not least, I would also like to thank my wife, Nirmala, and my family for letting me use lots of my time, like the last 33 years on this organization. I know that has taken a lot of time from the family time, but it has been worthwhile. I want to thank them. For the audience, for more information about the organization, please visit us at www.shankarnethralaya.usa.org. And thank you very much. May God bless you all.